nice funny hat. That's what my Blondie is.
Lovable feet, both flat. That's what my Dagwood is.
Blondie's not always right. I let her think she is.
All of my thoughts are bright, long as he thinks they're his.
Life with us is
Fun and crazy,
baby dumpling.
us and Daisy.
What a family. Incredible, bumsteadable.
Hurry, you'll miss your bus.
Watch out, you'll burn your stew. Nothing's too much for us, as long as with me there's you.
Dagwood and Blondie,
Blondie and Dagwood,
always with me there's you.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
I want to make sure that character Bumstead doesn't knock me flat on my back again.
Huh?
Every day for the past...
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Bumstead.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Beasley.
Good morning.
Yeah.
You're not going to work today?
Oh, no. See, I worked about half the night on a set of plans, and my boss is so pleased he gave me the day off.
Oh, I see. Well, as long as you're here, here's your mail.
Oh,
These
thanks.
packages here are for you, too. It's Premier Chemical Company,
Uh-huh.
New Jersey Chemical Company, Acme Chemical Company.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with all those chemicals?
It's a secret.
Oh. Another invention?
Well, sort of, yeah.
Well, whatever it is, if it doesn't succeed the first time, don't get discouraged. Remember Alexander Graham Bell?
Yeah. Huh? Alexander Graham Bell. What did he do?
Oh, darling, please be careful and don't get any of that smelly stuff in my stew.
Don't worry, I won't, dear.
Hi, Dave. What you doing?
Oh, just making some stuff. Where's Alexander?
He's over in Simmons' old barn.
What's he doing over there? He promised to help me today.
Mr. Simmons is going to let the boys use his old barn for a gymnasium. So they're all over there fixing it up.
Well, I told him to stay here and help me.
Do you want me to go get him for you, Daddy?
No, it's too far. I'll go get him. Here, you stay here and keep this dirt for me while I'm gone, huh? Yeah, that's it. Alexander can help fix that barn some other time. What the hell? Oh, boy.
Hi, Mr. Bumstead.
Oh, hi, Alvin. Well, this is quite a gymnasium you boys have got here. Well, well.
Look out, Pop!
What happened? Who threw it?
You hurt?
Hey, Pop, are you okay?
Sure. I'm all right, I think. Oh. Yeah, I'm okay.
Hey, Pop, how do you like our gymnasium?
Oh, swell. Oh, yeah. Brings back fond memories. You know, when I went to college, I practically lived in a gymnasium.
Could you afford a room?
No. Yes, I could.
Hey, Rollo, Alvin got the boxing gloves.
Well.
Mr. Bumstead, I want you to meet my cousin Rollo.
Yeah, hi, son.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Bumstead?
How do you do, Rollo?
Are these okay, Rollo?
Not a very good grade of leather, but they'll do.
Boy, the manly art of self-defense. You know, when I went to college, I was a pretty good boxer.
Is that so?
Oh, yes, indeed.
In those days, Mr. Bumstead,
Huh?
were you a bantam or a welter?
No, I was a sophomore. That's good, huh?
You want to box a few rounds, Gerard?
Not me.
How about you, Marvin?
I'm busy.
You, Alvin?
No thanks.
You know, if you were a little bigger, I might box you.
Oh, don't worry about that, Mr. Bumstead.
Huh? Oh, now, I wouldn't want to hurt you, sonny boy.
Well, I'll watch out for that.
You will, huh? Okay, Rollo, don't say that I didn't warn you. Give me a hand, boys.
Mr. Bumstead, you shouldn't box with him. Somebody's liable to get hurt.
Yeah, well, don't worry. I won't hit him very hard. I'll just tap him a little bit.
Okay, boys, get these mats out of the way.
Come on, Rollo. All right, now look. See now, like this, I'm about the same height as you are.
Oh, no, you don't have to do that, Mr. Bumstead.
Yeah, oh, okay. Come on. How do you like the fancy footwork, Rollo? Look out. Don't worry, I won't hurt you, kid.
Come on, Rollo. Come on, Rollo. Come on,
Get him, Mr.
Bumstead.
Well, come on, fire him at me.
See? Now you're the same height.
Huh? What happened? He ran through a red light. Did you get his number?
Oh, gee. I'm sorry, Mr. Bumstead.
Hey, Rollo, how about give me a hand?
I'll be right with you.
I warned you about Rollo, Mr. Bumstead.
Rollo? How can a little fella like that? Oh,
Dear. Well, here, keep this on your eye, and maybe it won't be black tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Blondie.
Well, go ahead and finish your story.
A story?
Yes, how you got the black eye.
A glove did it.
A glove?
Uh,
What kind of a glove?
a boxing glove.
Oh, Dagwood, how could you run your eye into a boxing glove?
There was a fist in it.
Whose fist was it?
Well, I was over at the boys' gymnasium, and I was boxing with a fella. A great big tall fella.
Who was he?
His name was Rollo.
Well, never mind, dear. Just keep this piece of S-T-E-A-K on it. That'll make it feel better. Darling, are you all ready to test your fireproof paint?
Oh, this should be dry by now. Yeah, Okay, they're dry. We're all ready for the test.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I'll get it. You just be sure and keep that on your eye.
Yeah. Huh? Oh. Now listen, Daisy, I gotta have this for my eye. You wouldn't want me to have a black eye, would you? Oh, all right. Just one little piece, and that's all. There. Oh, Elmer. Now, Elmer, you heard what Blondie said. I gotta keep this to put on my eye. I can't go to the office with... All right, but this is the last piece positively. Here. Oh, now, fellas. Well, have a heart. Look at my eye. All right.
Yes, Mr. Fuller. That's right. Please do. Thank you. Goodbye. It was the grocer, honey. He wanted to... Dagwood. What happened to the steak?
It shrunk.
Well, let's try the paint, dear.
Oh, right. Blondie, do you think it'll work?
I know it'll work. If it doesn't, you'll have to try again.
Yeah.
You know, dear, very few inventors were ever successful on their first attempt.
Yeah. You're right, Blondie. Now, you take Alexander Graham Bell, for instance. Do you think his steamboat worked the first time he tried it?
Dagwood.
Yeah.
Alexander Graham Bell didn't invent the steamship.
He didn't?
No, dear.
Oh, well, whatever he did invent, I bet it didn't work the first time. Well, Blondie, here goes.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, boy.
Oh, look, Dagwood.
Huh?
Dagwood, the fire has no effect on him. Look, it turns it black, but it doesn't even blister the paint underneath. Dagwood, your fire-repellent paint is successful.
Oh, boy. Hey, come on, let's try some paper.
Okay.
I'll try the paper.
I
It's
can
already,
hardly
it's dry
believe it.
already.
My goodness.
How about it?
What's happening? Missouri just turns it black. Oh, I'm so
Look at this.
excited. Here,
Look at
try
this.
some Excelsior. If this doesn't burn, nothing will.
Look at it.
Dagwood, look at this.
Huh?
Look at this. Oh,
It won't do
Dagwood,
it?
no. Oh, just imagine how proud Mr. Radcliffe will be of you.
Oh, you think he will, Blondie?
I know he will. Tomorrow morning you go straight to Mr. Radcliffe and tell him all about it.
Yeah.
You know, I know he'll want to use this paint on every construction job he gets from now on. Oh, I can't believe it.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Pop.
Oh, hello, son.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Bumstead.
Oh, you must be the new boy in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. Say, Mom, I'd like you
Say,
to...
Alexander, I
Mr.
would-
Bumstead,
Uh-huh.
Alexander's asked me to teach him the fundamentals of chess.
Oh, that's nice. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, Mrs. Bumstead,
Yes?
I hope you'll forgive my asking, Mrs. Bumstead, but don't you think you're cooking the stew just a little too fast?
Why, I don't think so.
To assure yourself of a truly tasty stew, you should never allow the temperature to go beyond 212 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sure that this must be at least 250 degrees.
Who was that?
That was Rollo.
Rollo? You mean that was the big tall who gave you... Dagwood, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Fighting with a little boy like that.
All right, fellas, let's go in.
Oh, good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Dagwood.
Looks like I'm the first one in this morning, huh?
Oh, no, you're the last.
Yeah?
So you better hurry. There's a big meeting going on in Mr. Radcliffe's office.
Oh.
Is everybody here?
Everybody but Bumstead.
Oh, well.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mr. Radcliffe.
Now, I called you all in here to tell you that we are bidding on a new contract. A very important contract, the new school building. I want to impress it upon you that safety must be uppermost in your thoughts when you draw up these plans.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Dagwood?
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Radcliffe. I'll keep the good news till you get through. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Now, I think you should know that there is a new firm, Dillon and Slack, who is bidding on this project also. So we must all pull together and see to it that the Radcliffe Construction Company wins out. Now then, are there any questions?
Well, how soon do these plans have to be completed?
Well, the chairman of the Board of Education wants them as quickly as possible. Any more questions? Well, that's all I have to say. Now then, let's hop to it, because as you know, if we land this contract, it will mean a lot to all of us. That's all, gentlemen.
Well,
Now, what is this good news that I could wait for, Dagwood?
Mr. Radcliffe, that contract is as good as ours. Dillon and Slack haven't got a chance.
Oh, they haven't. What gave you that idea?
You know that little invention I've been working on?
You mean those papier-mâché shingles?
Yeah. No, my fire-repellent paint. Why, we tested it yesterday, and everything that we painted was absolutely fireproof.
Bumstead, you forget your fire-repellent paint and concentrate on those plans.
Oh, now, Mr. Radcliffe, you must realize what my paint means to the safety of the school. Now, look, just imagine if the schoolhouse caught on fire and little children were running around confused, and maybe all the children escaped except this one little girl. Now, she's trapped upstairs in her room on the top floor in the flames. They're licking at the staircase, and they're burning their way right up to the top floor. Now, the little girl runs to the window, gasping for breath. She can't breathe. She's having an awful time. Smoke doors in the room. The little girl coughs. Oh, that poor little girl. She throws open the window and calls. Help! 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 The fire engine. It's roaring up the street. The bells are ringing. Clang, 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 clang. And the siren is screaming. Ah, 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 ah. But will they get there in time to put out the fire? Will they get there in time to save that little child's life? The poor little girl's father and mother are wringing their hands in agony. Will their little baby be saved? Or will she be burned to an ember? Will she be saved, Mr. Radcliffe? Yes. Yes.
Dagwood,
What?
get to work on those plans and forget your crackpot ideas about fire repellent paint.
All right, Mr. Radcliffe, you can call me a crackpot if you want to. But remember, that's what they call Alexander Graham Bell when he invented the sewing machine. I'm going to see Mr. Radcliffe the first thing in the morning and really try to get him to listen to me about my paint.
Darling, Mr. Radcliffe is just a plain businessman. He doesn't have the imagination you have. Cookie, will you please stop playing for a minute? There's no use telling a man like Mr. Radcliffe about your paint. You've got to show it to him.
Mr. Bumstead, I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. I think that Mrs. Bumstead is absolutely correct.
Oh, she is?
Now, if you could take a can of paint to your office,
And prove to Mr. Radcliffe that it is non-inflammable.
he would have to see the value of it.
He would, wouldn't he?
Of course he would, dear.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll take that paint in tomorrow and I'll make Mr. Radcliffe believe in it.
That's the spirit, Mr. Bumstead.
Thanks.
Cookie, take it from where you left off.
Yeah, let's have a little music. Blondie, will you please get that can of paint? I don't want to forget it.
Yes, dear. Now remember, Dagwood, no matter what Mr. Radcliffe says, don't take no for an answer. I remember the time, Oh, the time! Oh, my goodness! It's late for the bus! Come on,
It's lucky I made up this back the same color as your uniform. You'd be an awful mess if I'd made it in white. Here, let me help you here. There you are. There, it's hardly noticeable now. Well, oh my, I'm going to be late.
Since I talked to you yesterday, I have received this letter from Mr. Forsyth of the Board of Education. He indicates that the points in the new school building to be watched most carefully. Point number 1, the fire exits from the right and the left. What is that odor?
Oh, I'm sure I don't know, Mr. Radcliffe, unless it's,
Well, it smells sort of like, Dagwood, have you been around a livery stable?
Not today, Mr. Radcliffe.
Oh. Well, let me see. Where were we? Oh, yes. The fire exits from the left and the right will have to be widened to permit the evacuation of 3,600 children. It's you.
Huh?
What have you got on that handkerchief?
Oh, that's my fire repellent paint. I spilled some of it this morning. In fact, I was going to bring a whole can
Is
of
this
it.
the paint you were telling us about, the paint that won't burn?
Uh-huh.
Get rid of that handkerchief immediately. Throw it away. In fact, burn it.
Oh, but Mr. Radcliffe, Dagwood said anything treated with his paint won't burn. Didn't you, Dagwood?
Yes, I did. But I'll throw it away, Mr. Radcliffe.
We'll see.
Huh?
We'll see. Just a minute. There.
Well, well, I can't believe it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It doesn't burn.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't burn. It doesn't burn. Dagwood, why didn't you tell me this paint was fire repellent?
Well, you wouldn't listen to me. Yesterday, I tried to.
Fire repellent.
Uh-huh.
Fire repellent. Dagwood, congratulations. This is sensational. Do you realize what this will mean to my business?
Yeah, and especially to the schoolhouse.
Yes. The schoolhouse. Get me Mr. Forsythe of the school board immediately. Dagwood, I think we've got something.
Buddy.
Hello, Board of Education? Mr. Forsythe, please.
Forsythe speaking. Oh, good morning, Ratcliffe. What's that? It does? Why, that's fantastic.
Mr. Forsythe, I have just seen a demonstration with my own eyes right here in my office. Yes, it absolutely works.
Ratcliffe, we provide fire escapes at each end of the building, sprinkler systems in every room, and automatic fire doors. Of course, our schools must have 100% safety as our goal, but...
You're perfectly right, Mr. Forsythe. You can never have too much protection, especially where children are concerned. But suppose something should go wrong and a fire broke out. There's always a possibility, you know.
Yeah, a little girl is trapped on the top floor.
A little girl is trapped on the top floor.
Smoke pours in the room. The little girl coughed.
Smoke pours into the room. She starts to cough.
She gasps for breath.
She gasps for breath. Yeah. She runs to the window and she screams, "Help! Help! Help!" The fire engines are roaring down the street. The bells are clanging. Clang! Clang! The sirens are screaming. Will they be there in time to put the fire out? Will they be there in time to save the little girl?
Ratcliffe, Ratcliffe, what's the matter with you? Oh, are you all right now? Well, it sounds good, of course, but before we even talk about a contract, I'd have to know a lot more about this.
That's exactly what I wanted you to say, Mr. Forsythe. We will give you a demonstration. How about day after tomorrow, here in my office?
No, no, no. I'd have to see it used on a much larger scale.
Oh. You mean on an actual building? Oh, well, I don't know, Mr. Forsythe.
How about your fishing shack up at Woods Lake?
How about my fishing shack up at Woods Lake?
Woods Lake? Why, yes. You must be pretty sure of this paint if you're willing to try it on your own cabin.
Well, yes, yes, I am. Well, then it's all set. Saturday afternoon at Woods Lake. Mr. Bumstead will go up the day before and apply the paint.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Mr. Forsythe. My fishing shack. Bumstead, that paint of yours had better work.
Oh, sure it will, Mr. Radcliffe. It can't miss.
Bumstead, my boy.
Come on, eat your breakfast. You'll be late for school.
Okay, Mom.
Dagwood, do you think you have enough paint made up for Mr. Radcliffe's cabin?
Oh, sure. There's 2 full cans under the sink. That'll be plenty.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, thank you, Daisy. Oh, excuse me, Daisy. I forgot your tip. There. Hey! Oh,
what's the matter?
Oh, look, right in the paper. It's a picture of me.
A picture of you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Look at that.
Oh. Oh, my, how handsome you were.
Ah.
Oh, darling. Listen to what it says about you.
What?
In an interview yesterday with Mr. G.M. Radcliffe, it was disclosed that Dagwood Bumstead, prominent member of the Radcliffe Construction Company of this city, has perfected a paint which he guarantees is absolutely fire repellent. A public demonstration is to be given Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock at Woods Lake. The fishing cabin of Mr. G.M. Radcliffe is to be used for the demonstration, and the public is cordially invited.
If this demonstration proves successful, Mr. Radcliffe hints that there is a strong possibility that this paint will be used on a new school building to be erected shortly in our city. Get a load of that, Schmo.
Schmo or no Schmo, the dope may have something.
Do you think so?
Well, if the paint is fireproof, we stand a good chance of losing that school contract.
Well, then let's get in touch with this Bumstead character and try and make a deal with him.
It's 10 to 1, Radcliffe's got him and his paint tied up. And if that paint really works...
Why, Mr. Dillon, I'm surprised at you. We couldn't possibly let anything like that happen. Now, could we?
You're right. We couldn't.
Mrs. Bumstead?
Yes?
My name is Levan. I represent the Vesuvius Fire Insurance Company.
Oh, yes. What can I do for you?
I read the account of your husband's brilliant discovery, the paint formula, that is, in the paper this morning. You must be very proud of him, Mrs. Bumstead.
Oh, yes, I am. I really am. Oh, won't you come in, Mr.
Levan. Thank you, Mrs. Bumstead. We of the Vesuvius Fire Insurance Company are naturally very interested. A fire-repellent paint like Mr. Bumstead's would cut the percentage of our liabilities to practically nothing, you know.
Why, of course you're right. I wish I'd thought of that.
Well, we think of everything. And I thought, that is, the Vesuvius Fire Insurance Company thought, we ought to do everything in our power to help Mr. Bumstead. For instance, if he's had any difficulty obtaining material to paint an entire cabin, we might help him.
Oh, no, he has plenty. He has 4 gallons already made up. It's right out in the kitchen.
Good. Mrs. Bumstead, do you suppose that I might see it?
Why, I guess so. It looks just like paint, though. Daisy, what's the matter with you? Oh, Daisy, stop there.
Allow me, Mrs. Bumstead.
Oh, thank you. There we are. You see, it does look like any other paint.
Yes, it does. Is this the color Mr. Bumstead is using on Mr. Radcliffe's cabin?
This is the paint.
Mrs. Bumstead, do you suppose Mr. Bumstead would mind if I went along when he applies the paint? My company wants me to get all the data I can.
Oh, I'm sure he wouldn't mind at all. We're going out by bus first thing in the morning.
The bus? I wouldn't think of letting you go by bus. I'll drive you. What time do you want to leave?
Oh, now, I couldn't let you do that. Around 9:30 in the morning?
I'll be here 9:30 sharp.
Oh, that's awfully nice of you, Mr.
Levan.
Levan. Now, children, are you sure you'll be all right till we get back?
Oh, sure, Mom. As soon as we're out of school, I'm going over to our gymnasium.
Oh, fine. And what are you going to do?
I'm going too. It's Ladies' Day and I'm invited.
Well, how wonderful. Now, don't forget your lunch. It's all ready for you in the icebox.
We won't, Mommy.
Okay.
Don't worry about us, Mom. We'll be okay.
All right, darling. Run along. Go on. Dagwood, hurry. I think Mr. Levan is here.
I'll be right there, Blondie.
Good morning, Mr. Levan.
Good morning, Mrs. Bumstead.
Mr. Bumstead will be right down.
Fine. While we're waiting, I might as well put the paint in the car.
Oh, you don't have to bother. My husband will do it.
It's a pleasure, I assure you.
Daisy, such manners. Now you get right on back to the kitchen. Go on. Thank you. Dagwood, please hurry, dear.
Come in, Blondie.
Levan. This is my husband, Mr. Bumstead.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Bumstead.
Gee, it was real nice of you to go to all this trouble.
Oh, no trouble at all, I assure you. You can put your brushes in the back if you care to.
Oh, yeah.
Here's mine, Dagwood.
Uh-huh. There we are. Okay.
I'll get him, Mr. Bumstead. Ah, there we are.
You know, this is going to surprise a lot of people.
It certainly is.
Isn't this a wonderful place for our experiment, Mr. Levan?
Yes, indeed.
Dagwood, are you sure you made the paint off according to your tested formula?
Oh, I didn't forget a thing.
Well, I'm all ready to go to work.
You are, huh? Okay, there. Here's the paint. Oh, now remember, Blondie, don't leave one tiny little spot unpainted because we don't want to take any chances with Mr. Radcliffe's cabin.
Don't worry, I'll paint everything.
Yeah. Let's see. Why don't you start around in back, huh?
Oh.
And I'll get this front part started.
All right.
Say, how about letting me do a little painting?
Oh, you don't want to get paint all over that nice suit.
I think I have a pair of coveralls in the car.
Yeah. Well, but be sure you put it on good and thick.
Don't worry. I will.
Yeah. Blondie! Did you miss any spots?
Are you kidding?
Are you nearly finished?
I am finished.
Oh, did you cover everything, huh? Ooh.
I certainly did.
Here. Where's that can of gasoline, Ollie?
It's right here on the porch, Dag.
Oh. Oh, yeah, thanks.
Rollo, all that gasoline, isn't that asking too much of the paint?
Oh, no, Mrs. Bumstead. I tested some of your husband's paint in my own laboratory. It will absolutely resist any fire.
Oh, look, children, here comes our mayor.
This way, Mr. Mayor.
Hold it, Your Honor. Thanks, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I want you to meet the gentleman who's responsible for this marvelous paint, Mr. Dagwood Bumstead.
Well, it's an honor to meet you, I'm sure.
Oh, it is? Oh, well, thank you, Your Honor.
And I want you to meet Mr. Bumstead's charming wife, Mrs. Bumstead.
Yes.
Charmed.
Hello.
And this is the chairman of the Board of Education, Mr. Forsyth, and our fire chief.
How do you do?
Hello, Chief.
Is everything all set, Mr. Bumstead?
Oh, everything's all ready.
Good. Then, Your Honor, if you'll just take your position over there, I'll announce that the demonstration is about to begin.
Mrs. Bumstead?
Thank you. Oh, Dagwood, you're sure everything's going to be all right? Nothing can go wrong.
Oh, now, don't worry, Mr. Radcliffe. When this little experiment is over, you won't even be able to smell smoke in your little cabin.
Oh, good. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. You are about to witness a scene that I believe you will remember for the rest of your lives. But before we proceed with the demonstration, I think it only fitting that we introduce our esteemed inventor and my business associate, Mr. Dagwood Bumstead.
You can tell he's a brilliant man just by looking at him.
Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your kind applause. But there is another member of my family who should share in my triumph today. Just like Alexander Graham Bell's wife, she has stood with me through these many months of experimentations. But without this person's encouragement, I could not have succeeded.
No.
And that one person, ladies and gentlemen, is my own little wife, Blondie Bumstead.
The matches.
And with your approval, ladies and gentlemen, I want my little wife, Blondie, to have the honor of applying the first match.
Thank you.
There.
Oh. Thank you, dear. Thank you. I appreciate the honor you have so graciously given me, but I feel the privilege of striking the first match should go to our own mayor, the Honorable A.K. Ramsey.
Mrs. Bumstead, Mr. Bumstead, Mr. Ratcliffe. When I was elected mayor a few years ago, one of my many promises to our good voters and taxpayers was that I would keep the ideal of civic improvement and progress of our fair city ever before me. And I hope that at the polls this year, you will all remember the new sewer system I have just installed on the south side.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, yes, paint. Today, I am not looking for votes, nor for personal honor. But I am here to pay tribute to a man who is offering to the world a gift that will make our fair city famous the land over. And in accepting this honor bestowed upon me, it is with great pleasure that I apply the first match.
Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead. There's plenty of gasoline on it. Go ahead.
What happened? What's wrong?
No, now, don't worry, Mr. Radcliffe, don't worry. The fire hasn't reached the paint yet. That's just gasoline burning.
Oh.
Yeah, I hope.
Huh?
What's the matter, Mommy? I don't know. Come on, get back, children.
Forsyth, I should have had more sense than to listen to you. You half-baked nitwit.
Look who's calling me half-baked.
You're the fire chief. Can't you do anything?
Don't blame me, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to bring some equipment. Mr. Forsyth said I wouldn't need any.
Oh, he did he?
Would you say the flames had reached your paint yet?
And now we mustn't get impatient, Mr. Radcliffe. We've just got to give it a little more time.
Oh.
Chief, when's the paint's not working?
It's working.
One of the nicest fires I've ever seen, and not a spoonful of water.
Would you say we'd given it enough time now, Bumstead?
Radcliffe!
Radcliffe, I ought to sue you for everything you've got.
Yes, and if the law didn't compel me to accept gigs from anyone, I'd award that contract to Dillon and Slack right now.
And as for this nincompoop business associate of yours...
Just a moment, Your Honor. You may be the mayor of this town, but you can't call my husband an nincompoop, you and your old sewer system.
Hold it, Your Honor.
Come on, Forsyth, up!
Your Honor! Your Honor! Your Honor! What about me? How am I going to get back to town?
You've got an inventor. Let him invent a way. That's the hottest hot... Hey, wait for me!
Oh, look, Mr. Radcliffe. Mickey's almost as good as new. Poor moose.
Don't you think we ought to get going, Blondie? There's nothing we can do here.
You take the children to the car, Ollie. I'll wait for Dagwood. See, I wonder where Rollo is.
I can't find Daisy either.
Daisy. Here, Daisy.
Daisy, something smells around here, and I don't mean the paint.
I ought to fire you for this.
Huh? Oh, no, Mr. Radcliffe.
Oh, don't worry.
Please.
Don't worry. I'm not going to.
No?
Oh, you're going to work for me for the rest of your life.
Oh, gee, thanks, Mr. Radcliffe.
Because it's going to take that long for you to pay me back for this cabin.
Yeah?
I'm going to deduct $10 a week from your salary for the next 20 years.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
No,
yes,
no,
yes,
no,
yes,
no,
yes,
no.
yes, 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 yes.
I tell you, Joe, you should have been there. I almost died laughing. Here was this Bumstead yokel pouring the gasoline on the Excelsior, and when the mayor's beard caught on fire, you should have seen the expression on Radcliffe's face. Take a look at this. Bumstead's blunder leaves mayor boiling. Today at a demonstration of Dagwood Bumstead's fire-repellent paint at Woods Lake, the Honorable Mayor A.K. Ramsey did an impromptu burn when the whole experiment blew up, as it were, in his beard.
Jose, did you bring some of the paint back with you?
There are 2 full cans in the closet.
Well, I guess the schoolhouse deal is as good as ours.
Come on, darling. Eat your sandwich and cheer up. There must be an explanation to all this somewhere.
Oh, no use, Blondie. I'll bet by now everybody in town is laughing at me. I'm just a failure.
You are not a failure, and they'd better not laugh at you. I think you're one of the smartest men in this town.
I am?
Of course you are, dear. And besides, that paint does work. I saw it with my own eyes.
Now I know how Alexander Graham Bell felt about his first radio set.
Dagwood,
What?
Alexander Graham Bell didn't invent the radio.
He didn't?
No, dear.
What was it?
Well, it's just as I suspected.
Do what?
I've gone over the telephone book, checked with information in the city directory. There is no Vesuvius fire insurance company in this town, and there never has been.
What?
And it is my impression that this Mr. Levan is an imposter.
Well, even if he is, why should he want to ruin our paint?
No reason at all, unless he's in cahoots with someone else, which no doubt he is.
Well, maybe, but who?
Dillon Slack, for instance.
Oh, boy, if I thought they did a dirty trick like that, I'd go down there and I'd... That's what I'd do.
No, it wouldn't be wise for you to go down there, Mr. Bumstead.
Yeah?
They'd know you.
Oh.
But if someone, say Mrs. Bumstead, could spend a few days in their office, I'll bet she could find out plenty.
A few days? But how?
For instance, as her secretary.
Yeah?
Oh, but Rollo, surely they must have a secretary.
A minor problem, Mrs. Bumstead. After Monday morning, they won't have.
Might as well.
Miss Nora Madison?
That's me.
Telegram.
Oh, my goodness.
Sign here, please.
What could it be?
Sign here, please.
Oh, I just hate telegrams. They always bring bad news. Then again, it might be good news. I wonder if it could be...
Sign here, please.
No, it couldn't.
Yes, it could.
Do you think so?
Well, it is. Yay! Oh, you're... Oh, Mr. Dillon, I did it.
You did what, Miss Anderson?
I won, and I gotta leave for Chicago right away.
You've won what?
I won the big radio contest. Mr. Dillon, I'm awfully sorry I have to leave you so sudden-like, but I've got to get out of here.
Well, you can't quit now without notice. I've got all those figures on the new school to get out.
Oh, Mr. Dillon, I'm awfully sorry, but I can win a trailer, an airplane, a trip to Havana, a mink coat, a diamond ring, 6 sets of dishes, and a combined radio set that opens up into a bed.
All right. Go ahead, get out. You weren't much help to me anyway, you and your radio contests.
Oh, Mr. Dillon, you're such a dear. And just for being so sweet to me, when I come back, I'm going to give you a set of dishes.
I can't wait.
Rollo, did it work?
Like a charm.
Oh.
Taxi!
But, Rollo, we don't need a taxi.
That's right. We don't. She does.
Taxi! To the airport, and make it snappy. How did you know she was in a radio contest?
Isn't everybody?
Well, here I go.
Strange you should drop in on me like this, Miss,
Smith. Abigail Smith. I've been making the rounds looking for work, and I...
Very well, you can start in right away. My former secretary left unexpectedly, and I, Excuse me, Miss Smith.
May I get you a glass of water?
Oh, thanks. The cooler's right out in the hall if you don't...
Not at all.
Use this door. It's right out there.
Oh.
Hi, Joe.
Oh, hello. Hiccups.
No. Say, have you got those specifications for the school building typed up yet?
No, but they'll be ready by this afternoon. Our stenographer ran out on us.
Well, look, Forsyth wants those plans by next week at the latest.
Well, quit worrying. I just got a new stenographer. Everything will be okay.
You know, Joe, I've been giving this fire-repellent paint idea some thought. That guy Bumstead has really got something.
He had something. Now we've got it.
When we made that test here in the office, you could see for yourself. It actually did work. Now, what's to prevent us from making up that paint ourselves? Give Forsyth a demonstration and slap a patent on it in our name. We might even insinuate that Bumstead stole the whole idea from us. It's only his word against ours, and since that fiasco at Woods Lake, he's the laughingstock of the town. Who'd believe him?
Yeah, but wait a minute. We haven't got the formula.
Look, we've got 2 full cans of that paint right here in this closet, haven't we?
Yeah.
All right. Now, all we've got to do is send out a sample of that to be analyzed. Once we get that formula, we're in business.
Got to hand it to you, Slack. I wouldn't have thought of that. I'll send a sample to the laboratory right away.
Tell them to get that report back as soon as possible.
Hello? Interstate Laboratories? This is Dillon of Dillon and Slack. I want you to analyze some paint for me. Yeah, that's right. I'll send it over right away. Thanks.
Here you are, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, thanks. Hey, it took you long enough.
Well, there weren't any cups. I had to run upstairs.
Well, call a messenger and have him take that can of paint over to the Interstate Laboratories right away.
Oh, yes, Mr. Dillon. In the Brooker building. Please send a boy over right away. Yes, the Brooker building. And make it snappy. What detained you? I want you to take this can of paint over to the Interstate Laboratory.
Yes, ma'am. Right away, ma'am.
Get it out of here. Hurry.
Burn down my cabin, will they? Make me the laughing stock of the town.
Yeah.
Get me Mr. Forsythe on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Switch paints, will they?
Yeah.
Forsythe speaking. Oh, it's you, Radcliffe. Now, wait a minute, Radcliffe. Those are pretty strong accusations. Dillon and Slack are a reputable firm, you know. I don't believe they'd stoop to stealing that so-called fireproof paint of yours.
All right, Mr. Forsythe, but if you get a call from Dillon and Slack telling you that they now have a fire-repellent paint, you'll change your mind about this reputable firm. Goodbye, Mr. Forsythe.
He doesn't believe you, huh, Mr. Radcliffe?
Well, there's just one thing left to do. We'll have to destroy that other can of paint they have in their office.
Say, I have a better idea.
Huh?
Tonight, we'll mix up another can of paint, exactly like the one they have in their office. Only this can will have none of Mr. Bumstead's fire-repellent ingredients. Mrs. Bumstead will switch cans. Then, when they give their demonstration to Mr. Forsythe, we'll all sit back and watch the fireworks.
Ha, ha, ha. Rollo, my boy, I'm just beginning to appreciate you. You come around and see me in about 10 years, I may have a job for you.
Huh? Yeah? Oh, good morning, Mr. Beasley.
I must be at the office before Mr. Dillon, children. Oh, Emily! Who'd you get
some sort of a signal as soon as you switch cans.
Okay, I'll open the office window as soon as I've done it.
Okay.
Peerless Lumber Company, 420 Olive Street, City. Gentlemen, in reply to the inquiry, please be advised that it is impossible to give you the exact amount of lumber we will need for the school building at this date. However, we will be happy to inform you as soon as...
Hi, Joe.
Good morning, Harry.
Well, it's all set. We give Forsythe a demonstration this afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Good. How can we do it today? We haven't got the report back from the laboratory yet.
We've still got 2 gallons of Bumstead's paint in the closet, haven't we?
That's right. We don't need the formula until after we've got the contract.
You're so right, Mr. Dillon. Say, where's the file on that contract?
I'll get it. Miss Smith,
Yes, Mr. Dillon?
will you come in here, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Dillon. I don't feel very well. I think I'd better go home.
What seems to be the matter?
Oh, I feel kind of dizzy. I think if I could get outside for a few minutes, I'd be all right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, you'd better sit down. Let me help you.
Oh,
There now, you rest a while.
I know if I went outside, I really would be all right.
No wonder you feel dizzy. You haven't any air in here.
Oh, no, Mr. Dillon. Don't open the window.
But you said you wanted some fresh air.
Well, yes, I know, but when the air's outside the window, it's fresh. When it comes inside, it's not fresh anymore.
Nonsense. I know what's best for you. You ought to be sitting down.
Oh, no, I really ought to go home.
Come. What's that?
That? Oh, that's tomato juice.
Tomato juice?
For my lunch. Oh, I just love tomato juice. It's full of vitamins and minerals, and, well, that's just about all I live on.
Well, look who's here.
You know Miss Smith?
Oh, yes, we're old friends, aren't we, Mrs. Bumstead?
Mrs. Bumstead?
Tomato juice, huh? I put Worcestershire sauce in mine, not turpentine.
What is all this?
Well, this happens to be paint. And unless my nose deceives me, it's loaded with gasoline, too.
What were you planning to do with this, Miss Smith? I mean, Mrs. Bumstead?
Oh, well, I just...
Oh, no!
Oh, my God!
You were going to switch it with that cannons in the other office, weren't you?
Is that what you intended to do?
You ought to know. You're quite an expert at switching, aren't you, Mr. Levan?
How much does this dame know?
Too much to turn her loose.
Well, then we have no choice. Come on, sweetheart.
No, I'm looking. Help!
Why doesn't Rollo call?
Now, be patient, Mr. Radcliffe. You can rely on Blondie. If she sets out to do something, she always...
Yes?
Rollo's on the phone, Mr. Radcliffe.
Well, put him on. Put him on. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Try the other end.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello, Rollo. Blondie, did it?
Yeah?
Great, Rollo, great. Be here at 1:30. We'll all go over to Forsyth's office together.
Yeah.
Okay, Rollo. Blondie switched the paint. She switched the paint.
I told her she'd do it.
Say, I hope Blondie knows about the demonstration. I wouldn't want her to miss that for the world.
Oh, don't worry about Blondie. She'll be there. Unless she's tied up or something.
That ought to hold her, at least until that contract is signed.
Say, what are we going to demonstrate this stuff on?
What could be better than the model of the school building itself?
Right.
We can pick up a spray gun on the way over. Goodbye, sweetheart. We'll bring you a box of candy when we come back with that contract.
You see, we thought it would be most appropriate to use the model itself.
The model is made of cardboard. That should prove how efficient our paint really is.
I've invited the fire chief, just in case.
Glad to have him, but I assure you he won't be needed.
I also invited Mr. Radcliffe. I hope you don't mind.
Well, not at all. Now he can see how a real fire repellent paint works. Right, Joe?
Right.
Help! Yoo-hoo! Anybody home?
Oh, well, I always knew those guys were slave drivers, but they never tied me down to the job like this.
Oh, thank you.
Did you hear about the big radio contest that I won?
Oh, congratulations. You mean you actually won?
Yeah, but you know, I don't think those radio contests are on the level. They didn't call my number until after I got there.
Oh, please hurry.
How do you like that for a ring?
Oh, that's beautiful.
And little old me in this mink coat. And I get a trip to Havana.
Oh, that's wonderful. But if I don't get out of here soon, something terrible's going to happen.
Well, what's going to happen, honey?
Dylan and Slack have stolen something from my husband.
Well, what did they steal, honey?
A fireproof paint he worked on day and night for months.
Why, the crooks.
Oh, thank you, and I hope you enjoy your trip to Havana.
Well, I ought to. I won the boat.
There. Everything's ready.
Are you all set, Chief, just in case?
Yes, sir.
There isn't a chance in the world of anything going wrong with our demonstration, Mr. Forsythe.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Radcliffe.
Asbestos firefighter suits, huh?
Very funny, Radcliffe. Very funny.
You know the old saying, an ounce of prevention
It's worth two in a bush.
Take a seat, gentlemen.
Well, if you don't mind, we'd rather kind of stay close to the door.
All right, you may proceed with the demonstration.
Just a minute. Ready, men? Aim.
You'd better save that comedy, Radcliffe, till after the demonstration.
Yeah, go ahead, Harry.
It's a little blackened, but underneath the paint is as good as new.
Wonderful.
Get funny now, Radcliffe.
You say this model is made of cardboard?
Plain, ordinary, everyday cardboard, Mr. Forsythe.
I'll have to admit, gentlemen, that your fire-repellent paint is all that you claimed it was.
Thank you, Mr. Forsythe.
Mr. Forsythe.
And if your bid is anywhere near Mr. Radcliffe's, it's only fair that we award you the contract. You understand my position, Mr. Radcliffe?
Cheer up, Radcliffe. I hear the city's asking for bids on prefabricated dog houses.
That did it. Listen, Dagwood. Let the chiselers have their fun.
Blondie, where have you been?
Am I too late?
It's all over.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was successful, wasn't it?
I'm afraid it was.
Well, that's because I didn't get a chance to switch the paint.
What? But Mrs. Bumstead, you gave me the signal.
That wasn't me, Raoul. Those two men grabbed me and tied me up before I had a chance to switch the paint.
Did they tied you up?
Yes.
Listen here. Now I will do it.
Dagwood!
Yeah? Oh, and you too.
Here.
Dagwood, never mind, dear. They'll both get what's coming to them.
Will someone please tell me what this is all about?
I'll be glad to, Mr. Forsythe. For several days, I've been acting as Dylan and Slack's secretary.
Yeah, and she found out that they were the men that burned Mr. Radcliffe's cabin down.
Dylan and Slack?
Yes.
Yeah.
They wormed their way into our confidence and replaced Dagwood's fireproof paint with ordinary paint. Then they were going to have our paint analyzed, steal the formula, and have it manufactured in their own names.
What about this?
It's a pack of lies.
What?
No. They're sore because our paint is a success.
Yeah, make them prove it.
That's just what I wanted to hear you say.
What?
Excuse me. Mr. Forsythe, I realize that it's our word against theirs. But if you hear the whole story in their own words, I'm sure you'll believe us.
Why, yes, of course, Mrs. Bumstead.
Gentlemen, in reply to your inquiry, please be advised that it is impossible to give you the exact amount of lumber we will need for the school building. However, we will be happy to inform you as soon as...
Hi, Joe.
Good morning, Harry.
Well, it's all set. We give Forsythe the demonstration this afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Good. But how can we do it today? We haven't got the report back from the laboratory yet.
We've still got 2 gallons of Bumstead's paint in the closet, haven't we?
That's right. We don't need the formula until after we've got the contract.
You're so right, Mr. Dillon.
There it is. In your own words.
Stop those men! They burned down my cabin!
Hey, they burned down his cabin.
Don't let those men get away!
I'm not...
They burned down his cabin.
Why don't you stop it?
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
I'm not...
It's all right. That's all right.
Stop them.
They can't get away. The police are just outside.
Blondie, you are magnificent!
Magnificent. She's even wonderful.
I'll go along with that, Mr. Bumstead. If it hadn't been for you, Mrs. Bumstead, I might have given those crooks the contract. As it is, I shall be proud to award it to Mr. Ratcliffe.
Well, thank you, Mr. Forsythe. Well, Blondie, I think we're all indebted to you.
And Rollo. A lot of the credit should go to him.
You're absolutely right. And as I said before, Rollo, if you want a job in a few years, I'll have one for you.
Thanks very much, Mr. Radcliffe. But if my plans mature as they should, I may be in a position to offer you a job.
Oh.
Oh. Well, darling, how do you feel now?
Oh, I feel just like Alexander Graham Bell when he invented his telephone.
Darling, you made it! Oh.